Hey y'all, it's Pam with 44 Marketplace, and today you are on the job site with me. We have a customer that I'm working for that had an unfortunate accident on her new house. Someone was pressure washing and actually pressure washed the finish off of her bricks. So I'm going to show you how we're going to fix it up. That way it will be good as new and she won't have to worry about it. But before I do that, I want to show y'all my work environment. All right, I'm going to spin you around and let you see. Look at that. Don't you love the view? All right, I tell y'all all the time how much I love what I do. So today I wanted to show y'all where I'm working, and I want to show you what I'm going to work on. Now I'm going to tilt you down. You don't need to see me. You just need to be able to see what I'm doing. All right, there we are. You can see what they did when they pressure washed. They actually pressure washed the finish off of her bricks and made them look terrible. So we are going to fix her right up. All right. So sorry about any boat noise, but it is a great day to be outside here in Georgia. So you can see where it came off, and what we're going to do, a lot of people don't realize that Dixie Belle paint does beautifully outside, and it is a great way to fix this up. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. We're going to start here. And we've got to get rid of some of the red. And now if you want to mix sea spray in here, you can, but it's totally not necessary to do what we're doing. Okay? I know a lot of people think you're going to need more texture, but you won't need more texture, I can promise you. We're going to use what we've got. We just want to get a base coat, and then we'll start adding our layers of color. Now, when I was out in the sunshine just a few minutes ago, it dries much faster, so we're going to have to give this just a hot minute to dry so that we can layer this on here. And I don't know if a lot of y'all realize that you can do this, so that's why I want to show you. If you have bricks outside on your house that you don't like because they're red, you can absolutely finish it up and it'll weather beautifully. If you're watching this live, please let me know you're watching it. And if you're watching it in replay, please hashtag replay for me. I'm going to move this over. Now the colors that we're going to be using today, because I've already done part of it, we're using coffee bean. I know that's a big surprise. We're using drop cloth. We're using kernel mustard. We're using rusty nail and pine cone to match the colors that she already has on her house. Now y'all can see how we are getting rid of those red tones already, making it disappear. Now if you put it too thin, you are going to have a problem, because you're going to get a pink bleed through because of this red brick. So make sure when you're applying it, don't be stingy with it, because otherwise you're going to end up with some of your red showing through, and it's going to come through as pink, not as red. And keep in mind, there's parts up here where there's a little edge knocked off of the stone. So make sure and pay attention to that when you're doing this, okay? She had already had a couple of people come over here and look at this, and I told her we could fix it right up. You can imagine how thrilled she was when she came out here and saw this. All right, now I don't know how far over y'all can see, so we're just gonna, I'm trying to do a little bit more while we're letting where we started dry. But what you want to do is you want to go ahead and neutralize the red. Now, if you have too much red, always remember to put some gray on here. Gray will neutralize the red. But we want to embrace a little bit of this red for the edges of this to show through, so that we have the same little knockoffs that they do in other places. Now, around the side, we had to do it a little bit different than we do here, because around the side, you could tell where the mud had splashed up a little bit on the very base of the brick. So when you replace that, you've got to make sure and embrace that. You can't make that look cleaner than the rest of it, because then it won't look right. So that's what you've got to keep in mind. You've got to keep in mind the area that you're working with. Up here, there's concrete below it, so you don't have all of that to worry about. All right, so now we've got this right in here, and you can see how it's neutralized. And you may even want to go back and add a little bit more here and there. It's totally up to you. But this is on the exterior of her house. There's no cover over it or anything. And a lot of people I know would be nervous about doing this, but this is going to be great. All right, so now next we want to go back in with some pine cone. Dixie Belle pine cone is great to bring out these orangey browns that are in this up here, okay? Make sure you have something to offload your brush a little bit, but for this job, you want to use a chip brush, and you want to use the brown sparingly. You're wanting it to look, it needs to have that same look as above. You can see the brown up here, they didn't go crazy with it. And move your brush around. You don't want your brush to have the same pattern every time you put it down. It needs to have a little bit different pattern, and in some places you're going to have a little bit more, and in some places you're going to put the tips down, some places you're going to put the side down. You want to make sure and just move that brush around so it doesn't leave the same pattern every time you put it down. Okay? Now you can see how we've gone in and we've added all of that. We're going to put just a little bit more. Make sure you offload that brush. All right, so now we've got our browns in there, okay? Now we need to go back and we're gonna blot. And when I blot, I either take a paper towel or a baby wipe, because you don't want it to be a standout kind of thing. You want it to be a softer look. So you're gonna blot just a little to soften those spots up. If you end up with too much brown or too much of any of the color, you can always add more of your base coat back over it. But now you can see how we've already got the brown started, we've got it neutralized. Now we're going to go back in with the kernel mustard. And I know when you look at this color you think, holy goodness, but this color is what we're going to do. And if you do it very lightly, it will mimic the color that's up there. Okay? Make sure and offload your brush. My brush looks like it's got a lot in it because I've been working on the other side. Now we've got to add a little bit of our gold in there. And we're going to take our cloth and we're going to do it again. All right, now we've got our gold in there. Now get another cloth because you don't want to add more to that. And I want a little bit of brown over my gold to soften that gold up a little. There we go. Look at that. Now, like I say, any of these colors can be softened up a little bit. You may want to layer some of your base coat. Just take your base coat and go back over it so that it doesn't have all of the same colors. And you can see how much better that looks. It just makes a whole world of difference in the way that this is going to look. And that way, the average person can't tell the difference. Now, if you notice, we've got little knocked off places. If you hide too much of it, add some of your knocked off places back on. And the way I did that was I mixed rusty nail, pine cone, and coffee bean so that we've got the spots so that it looks like this up here, the little crunches are off and things like that. Can you see that right there? So that it's got those spots in it, because that's what's going to give it the natural look. So that's what I wanted to show y'all today. We are actually getting this done. I'm not really sure what I've got on the screen. I've got some kind of little dinosaur laughing. But I wanted to show y'all this is what I am doing today, and we have some spots all the way around this house to do. So I am going to be out here for a while today, and I'm going to finish up tomorrow. But a lot of times, if you have a problem like this, you can see it's super easy to finish. all you have to do is take a little bit of time and match up the colors. And Dixie Belle has 69 colors, so it's pretty easy to match it up. So today we are using Colonel Mustard. We are using Pine Cone, Rusty Nail, Coffee Bean, and Drop Cloth. And that's how we've done it. So I appreciate y'all tuning in this afternoon. This was a quick and easy lesson, but I've got to get back to work, and I will see you tomorrow night on the Dixie Belle Paint Company page at 8 o'clock. Bye, y'all.